If you're looking for some high quality, inexpensive accessories to add to your 24 Road Glide, let me show you what I put on mine. I've said it before, I'm not fond of spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on accessories just because they might have the Harley-Davidson name on them or the Bar and Shield logo or anything like that. I like to buy stuff that's cheap enough, but has good enough quality it's not going to break on me. Everything I'm going to show you today will be down in the description. There will be a link to the Amazon page where you can pick this accessory or part up. And I'm going to start with the coil cover, which I've shown in a past video, but this coil cover has looks just like the one that Harley-Davidson sells for twice the price. So you can make your decision. This is it right here. It's machined aluminum, very solid, very high quality. The only thing missing is there on the Harley-Davidson one, I believe there's a Bar and Shield right there in the middle of that machined area on the coil cover itself. It's very easy to install. They send you a longer screw. So you take off the original mounting screw that's on there, and then you just put this screw in it, and it mounts right up there. And it's definitely a way better look than that ugly rubber or plastic coil that they have on the bike already. I've seen lots of people put those on, and Amazon does have different variations of that coil cover. So when you click the link down there in the description, you should be able to pull up the different variations and look and see what you have, whether you want chrome, whether you want a different design. There's some that have like a mesh look to them. So check them out, see what you think. The next accessory I'm going to talk about is that heel shifter. That heel shifter, I believe, was $17. I can't really remember exactly, but I'll put a screenshot of each of these up here as we're going along so you can see what they look like and what the price is. But there will also be a link to this one down the bottom as well. But when you get that, the bolt that mounts the actual peg on is aluminum. I painted those black just because I didn't like the way they stuck out. I took the one out of my original shifter peg as well, painted those. And then the two bolts that hold it on are not matching bolts, so I painted those because it's less conspicuous that they're not matching bolts. And I did try to find a bolt that would match that, and I did not have any luck, so I didn't want to mess anything up, so I just put the original bolt back in it and just painted them, you know, painted black and then put them back in it. So it looks pretty good. Like I said, this stuff is just as good a quality as the Harley-Davidson stuff at a way lower price, and just as functional. The next accessory I'm going to show you is highway peg mounts, and these are just the mounts. The pegs themselves are actually the original passenger pegs off of this bike, so I took them off and I ordered these mounts and just put the passenger pegs on because they match what I have already. So let's take a look at those. You can see there, these are the short angle. I had some long angles on there before, and they were just a little bit too long, so I bought the short angle, and they fit really nice. They're high quality. They're solid aluminum. There's no play in the peg itself, and they are perfect. And like I said, those pegs are the original passenger pegs off this bike, so they match the floorboards perfectly. Next accessory I'm going to look at here is these passenger floorboards that I bought from Amazon. I originally bought these and put them on my 20 Street Glide, and they worked perfectly for my wife, so I just moved them over to this when I sold that bike. But as you can see, they're a perfect match to the Streamliner design, so it matches the driver floorboard, the highway peg. They look exactly the same, and this thing is nice and solid. You can hear it snaps into place. There's no play, there's no flopping around. It doesn't make any noise. They are adjustable, so you can move them down or up, maybe half inch or an inch, whatever. I've got them, I think I've got them on the, I don't think that's the bottom hole. I think I got them on the middle hole there. But like I said, these are really good floorboards. My wife loves them. I've never been really into just the pegs on the back of a motorcycle, so I always replace those with floorboards. And I think those look great. Even when they're folded in, they're out of the way. They're far enough away from the bike that my wife's feet aren't going to be scraping everything. And like I said, they're a perfect match for the other boards. Moving on from there, we're going to look at these mid-frame heat deflector shields. These are gloss black. You can get them in flat black. I think you can get them in maybe like a light tinted so you can see through them. These are gloss black because I thought it went best with the aesthetics of the bike, you know, being everything on the bike is gloss black, so I thought I'd just go with that. I'll probably, and like I said, those really do a good job of keeping the heat off, but mostly I get those for the look, because when I see a bike that doesn't have them, and you can see through that part of the, you know, you can see past the backside of the engine there, and you can see through it, just looks like something's missing, just looks like a big hole. So I put those on there mostly just because of the way they look. But they do serve a purpose and they do work very well. And that leads me into the next one, which is the saddlebag latches. These latches are originally chrome from the factory. I took the chrome ones off and put these on, and they fit perfectly and they work perfectly. There was no issue putting those on. There's one screw you take out. It's a little bit tight when you take the old ones out, but you just have to force them out. It's just keep working on it. They're just in there tight, so those look great, and I'm glad I changed those, because like I said, the original ones were chrome. I just didn't think they went very well with the bike. This luggage rack right here is also another Amazon accessory that was put on originally on my 2020 Street Glide, and it is a little scratched up because I've used it a lot. I mean, I put this stuff on to use it, and I've strapped down lawn chairs, not to this bike yet, but to my 20 Street Glide. I strapped down lawn chairs and stuff so I could go. I rode up to the ocean to see some sunrises in the morning. So I tend to strap stuff down, and it does scratch it a little bit, but this is what they call the stealth luggage rack. I think it looks great. It's got a really low profile. Maybe not hold as much stuff as some of the bigger luggage racks, but I think the look of this thing really fits well with the bike, and it fit perfectly with the 4-point docking system. No issues there at all. And the link to this will also be in the description. Next up is my passenger backrest. Now this is, I mean, it looks just like anything you buy from Harley, honestly. Looks just as good. My wife tells me that it's perfect for her lumbar support when she's riding on the bike. But a lot of times we're not riding with this stock seat. I'll put my Ultra seat on there, and which lifts her up a little bit higher, so that lumbar support for the stock seat may not be as good as it is with the Ultra seat. If you guys haven't seen my video on making an older seat fit your Harley-Davidson, I will put a link to that in the description as well, and right up here in the left corner. And you can click on either of those and check that video out to see how to make those seats fit. There wasn't really any issues with this backrest. I just had to adjust my docking hardware. You know, you can loosen that screw there, and you can turn those. They've got flat sides on them, and you can turn them to make them fit the accessory more, so it's not such a tight fit. So if you put it on it's a little bit tight, just adjust those screws and those mounting spots on that 4-point docking hardware, and you should be fine. Like I said, this works great. It worked great on my Street Glide, and I love it on the Road Glide. My wife loves it as well. All right, next up is my driver's backrest. This is just basically one of the squeeze mount type backrests, and it sits really high on this seat, the stock seat, so it's not as comfortable on this seat. But like I said, I normally have my Ultra seat on here, and I don't typically use this backrest if I have this seat because I'm not going very far. So you can see that it's up a little higher than what it should be. You know, it sits up pretty high. When the Ultra seat's on, it sits right down. The bottom of this is right down on top of the back of the seat. So it's a lot better configuration for your lower back, and it helps your lumbar a lot better. So with this stock seat on, it just doesn't look as good. But anyway, that's just a plain old squeeze tension type driver backrest, and works perfectly. The last accessory I'm going to talk about is an actual genuine Harley accessory, and that's my hand grips. I've had them on a previous bike, and I just love them. They're not the most comfortable grip because of these ridges, but I'll tell you, when you're going down the road and you have your hand on there, I can actually feel the wind coming around those ridges and getting up underneath my hand. So it actually does give you a little bit more wind circulation because of those grooves with the wind going up underneath it. I really love the way they look. I love the way they feel, even though they're not the most comfortable grips, like I said, but a lot of times I'm wearing gloves. But if you do happen to wear, ride without gloves, you'll be able to feel the wind. You'll be able to feel a little cool air coming around that grip because of those grooves. And I just really love those grips. And I did have a video where I showed the quick install. It's very simple to install grips on these bikes. I didn't do heated, but I would assume that it's not that much more difficult to do heated grips. I'll put a link to that video in the description and up here in the top left corner as well. So take a look at that if you're interested in seeing how easy it is to put grips on. So that does it for my inexpensive accessories that I have on my bike so far. It's not the end, obviously. I am going to put some custom dynamics lighting on the back, and I'm really excited about the Volunteer Audio new system. I just watched their video today, their new A and B interface that they've developed for this motorcycle, that they can replace the amp with a much larger amp and speakers that are completely tuned together, and perfect system. So if you are looking for some sort of upgraded sound system, check out Volunteer Audio on YouTube or volunteeraudio.com. And I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I'm just saying this is something that excites me about what I want to do to my bike. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Please hit the like button if you like what we're doing here. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, become part of the team, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you can see when our next video comes out. I would appreciate a comment. Let me know what you're doing to your bike, and ride safe, and talk to you on the next one.